Hi girls, it's Kelsie Morales and welcome to Girl Power Talk. Today at the Girl Power Studio we have, who else but our fantabulous Girl Power crew? Let me introduce you. We've got Rachel, Kennedy, and Kelly. And they're here to talk about 3 things that girls do to ruin their reputation. This is going to be good. So, all right, let's see what they have to say. All right, girls. Instead of starting with 3, let's start with 1. What's the number 1 thing that you think girls do to ruin their reputation? You're like, no, don't do it. You're ruining your rep. What?
Well, I think the number 1 thing is PDA, which is public display of affection. And I don't mean like small, like hugging your boyfriend in the hallway, but I mean like major, like in the hallway,
like you're
making out in the middle of the hallway because everyone sees it and it's not pretty.
It's not cute, right? You're
No.
like, oh no. You girls do the same thing?
Yeah, like especially like when it's like in front of your locker. Like I have this one friend who has 2 couples on either side of her locker because like one her boyfriend comes to her locker and the other one her boyfriend comes to her locker, and there's just 2 and she just has to like go in between and be like just go in because like they're both there and it's hard for her like to get into her locker sometimes because they don't even know that she's there or exists because they're so busy doing that. But it's just kind of like awkward for everybody because it's like I know that you do that in school. What do you do outside of school? So that's why it sets up an image. It sets up an image. It really does. Like
you're right, because you're thinking, wow, you're showing me a lot here.
Exactly.
What are you doing behind closed doors?
Yeah,
right?
it kind of like just shows everything in your relationship almost.
Wow. All right, what's number 2? Kennedy, can you give me one?
Just fighting and stuff. Like,
okay, so you're talking about like fighting, arguing, or like beat down fighting?
Both.
Okay. She's like
yeah.
both. Okay, and why is that?
Whether you want to take it like, publicly.
And I have to say, I love this ring.
Thank you.
All right, good.
Whether it's like, whether it's like between like a couple, like just one person or like a bunch of people and stuff, and just it gets really nasty really quickly, and just like once it starts, it's like, even though you might like be okay with the person like afterwards, but it's never actually the same, and you could ruin a relationship.
So how do you think that ruins a girl's reputation then? What starts to happen when you're someone who just starts to fight?
Well, people start to look at you differently, and they have different vibes about you.
Like what? Like they can't trust you, or you're gonna fly off the handle?
Yeah, like they just see you like in a negative way now. Like they're just not sure. They're confused. They're kind of scared. They want to have their distance from you, even though they had nothing to do with why you were fighting or anything.
Right,
they're just yeah.
Okay, so we have the PDAs, we have the fighting. Now, do you girls all agree about the fighting also, that is something that could lead?
Yeah, I think especially because filming it nowadays is very like people put it on YouTube and
I don't know why kids do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's another thing that's just like attention. I don't know, but it that can ruin your reputation because it's like one of those things. Well, I didn't see the fight at school, but someone said it's on YouTube. I'm gonna go watch it so everyone sees it, and it's just like. Even people who don't even go to your school, don't even know you, can see it. Your parents can see it if they hear about it. So it's kind of like everyone kind of feels badly about it.
Even like teachers and stuff. Like
teachers know about it.
Principals and I remember last year in my old school, like there was like a big thing with the cell phones and taking pictures. And videos, and like even the people who put them on the sites. Still had nothing to do with the thing, and they got expelled or suspended and stuff.
So you're saying it's just something that affects not just even with the peers, but even with, again, like teachers and principals and everybody else, and you start to really get a different type of reputation that you probably...
Yeah.
You may not even be that type of person, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's number 3?
I said teen pregnancy.
Okay. That's a good one. Now, why?
It's showing up like more and more these days, especially because we have like shows on MTV like Teen Mom and like American Teenager and like all those type things. And
now, does American Teenager show teen pregnancy, or they just show a lot of teen sex?
American Teenager, like the first episode was when she found out she was pregnant. It's like a series, it's like a drama series. It's fictional, and like Teen Mom's like real. It's real life.
Right.
But it just goes through like like sexual lives of teenagers, and she got pregnant and it was like her first time too, which was weird. And this other girl who also got pregnant, and she took all the precautions and everything. So that it's like very like risky, and like when you do get pregnant, it kind of like it's a bad reputation for your parents because they don't trust you anymore necessarily, because they're like, well, what is she doing when I'm not around? And then as far as like peers go, a lot of people would be like, oh, congratulations on your baby, and then like behind your back kind of like, well, she's kind of and like bad names.
Oh, okay. Do you agree? Because Kennedy's like, So do you think?
I've heard that before. Like,
really? See, that's interesting, right? Because I have girls say like, oh, that's so cute, she's having a baby. But I didn't realize that they were also like, they might go behind and be like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like the whole thing with sex in like high school and middle school, it's not necessarily always like oh, you're a horrible person, but no one ever like thinks about it and they're like, oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, no one's ever like, yeah, you know.
That's way to go.
Yeah, and like, I mean, maybe guys, but guys are a whole nother story.
Right.
But yeah, and as far as like friends go, like guys might not want to date you because it's like that's like a lot of baggage for them.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and then girls it's kind of like, well, she's never going to be free because she's always going to be taking care of her baby. So it's kind of like everyone.
Wow. Rachel, how do you feel about that? Do you think that just being pregnant as a teenager gives you a bad reputation?
Yeah, because like I've seen those like teen mom and like 16 and pregnant and stuff, and it's like people go behind their backs and like make up stories about what happened without even knowing.
Okay.
So then it's like it totally evolves into something new because people are making up things about what happened.
Okay. So you think then the bad reputation can even just come from the gossiping around that?
Yeah.
We've got the teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
We've got PDA. And we've got fighting. Are there any other ones?
Well, I said cheating because
cheating dating or cheating like on tests?
Cheating dating.
Cheating dating.
Though
okay.
cheating on tests, I don't recommend that either. But cheating dating, that just kind of ruins your whole dating life pretty much.
Yeah, you're right.
Because and like as far as like friends go, it's like, well, she's gonna steal my boyfriend, that type of thing.
Right.
So I think it's one of those things where it's like you look at someone, not only do you think they're like easy, you think they're not a nice person because they could do that to you. Right. So there's just like a lot of negative things about it, I feel.
Okay. How do you girls feel about that with the cheating? Do you think it is something definitely where you're like, wow, that's going to really ruin my reputation?
Yeah.
Why, Rachel?
Because like people will just look at you differently and they'll know like, oh, she's going out with this guy, but she's doing something with this guy, and it'll just give them a bad reputation of you because they don't want to hang out with that kind of person.
Yeah, and it goes along with like trusting and like it's sort of awkward like after like you cheated on someone and everybody knows. And it's you don't feel like.
I guess it also takes a type of character, right? Like a lack of character or something.
Because most people would feel bad about that if they did that to someone. So I mean, I would hope so.
Right. Now, why do you think, because we're talking about how these things can create, give a girl a bad reputation. We're talking about it because it is important to be able to protect your reputation. I want to hear from you girls, though, is why? Why do, girls watching this think like, so? Okay, it gives me a bad reputation, so? Why do they have to worry about watching their reputation?
Because those things, like, stay with you.
Right.
Like, no matter like say you go to like your high school reunion like 20 years from now,
they'll
like
remember.
you know the people who cheated with her boyfriend or like just your bad reputation, it stays with you like
a tag, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What about you, Cam?
And like she said, it stays with you, and it's kind of like one of those things where even if you're trying to hide it, someone knew you before, and it's like, oh, she cheats on her boyfriends, and you might be dating someone you didn't tell them or something, and you just want to forget about it because you're moving on. They'll find out, and you don't know how they'll take it.
Right.
It's kind of...
What about you, Rachel?
Well, I feel like kind of the same thing, but it can always come back to haunt you. Because what if you went out to get a job and your boss happened to be someone that you cheated on? Then
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
they wouldn't hire you probably.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't.
It would be a little bitter. I feel.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
So I feel like it can just come
It
back
can
and
just
haunt
come
you.
back and haunt you, right? And it's not even worth it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's wrap up with one piece of advice that you would give a friend if she was doing something that was risking her reputation. What's the one piece of advice that you would give her in terms of maybe the choices that she would make, or why protecting that reputation was so important?
Just be yourself, because most of those things are from trying to find yourself and trying to impress people, and it's pressure of people, because I don't think anyone really wants to be known as a fighter or
Right.
or that girl who got pregnant
Or
or
the cheater.
Like no
Yeah.
one really wants anything really negative to be said about them. So I think if you just be yourself, you shouldn't have a problem.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Kennedy?
Well, off the back, if you think it's gonna be bad, or if you just have a bad feeling
I love
about
that.
it,
She saw it and she's like, look, if you think it's already bad,
that's what it's obviously it's gonna be like.
you're right, Kennedy.
Such a
Just-
change.
it
Just
is
go with
it's-
your gut feeling, because I know we're not all perfect little angels
Yeah,
and stuff,
right.
and
None of us
things
are, right.
things happen,
We make
and,
mistakes, right?
Exactly. So just go with your inner feeling, and because I know I have my inner feeling whenever something bad's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Just it may brush off to seem not so, but it's
Yeah.
important.
Rachel?
I would say to always keep your future in mind,
Oh,
because
I love that.
obviously you have dreams and you have goals, and these whatever you're doing that's not appropriate could come back and haunt
Bite
you, and
yeah.
you won't be able to achieve them. So just always keep that in mind.
I love that. I'm not even going to add anything to this because this was fantastic. Just really, wrapping that up. And the simplest, which was if you don't remember anything else, trust your gut instinct, right? Trust that gut feeling. If you're feeling bad about something or you don't know what to do and it feels bad, don't do it. Be very careful, because with your reputation, it's like a tag. It's something people always identify you with. You do something to mess up your reputation, it's going to be really hard, right, to get it back.
Yeah.
Because people, they don't like to forget, right? They remind you, they don't forget. And you don't want to have to go through that. It's not, like Rachel was saying, you got to worry about your future, and your dreams, and you don't have to worry about that kind of baggage and people saying, oh, you don't know that she did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awful. All right, girls, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on next episode of Girl Power Talk. Bye.